Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Shirt, man!
All right, episode 205 of Shirt Show. We're talking with Jacquie from the awesome company in Ohio. Let's go!
Hey, Hanson. What?
I almost fucked this all up and didn't hit record, but I did hit record now.
It told me
Why
recording in
don't-
progress.
Yeah, just barely. So hang on. We should check. We should really be pros. Like, here we go. Ready? Check.
Can you hear me? Hey,
Oh, yeah, just perfect.
hey, baby boy.
It's picking it up soft and clear.
Okay, good.
I like your background, your backdrop. It looks
Ooh.
like they call that shiplap or something. No, they don't. Call it something
Yeah, they do.
else. Is that what that is?
I don't know. It's wood.
Wainscoting, maybe.
Mhm. I'm sitting on
Looks-
Christina's couch.
Looks very Florida-y. I was going to ask you how things are in upstate, but you're not there.
Nope. I'm down south. I'm a southern boy. Great. Got here yesterday, hung out, and then this morning, Christina and I went to Varsity and saw all the improvements Christy has done.
Oh, yeah?
Place looks awesome. I wanted to be more Florida, so last time I was here, I got super sunburned. And I think you remember that. I got like my face and everything. I had sinus issues. So I went and got one of those long sleeve t-shirts with a hood on it. So it wasn't like too hot.
Okay.
It was like, it felt good. So I got one this morning and I was like, all right, cool. So got back to the house, put the shirt on, put the headphones in, got my shoes, was going to go to the water to walk on the beach. And I started walking. I got maybe a mile and a half in and it fucking downpoured. So I like turned around, walked the whole way back and got like completely soaked.
Doesn't Florida, though, aren't there downpours? Don't they last for like 20 minutes?
But yeah, it was
And
like
then
10, 20 minutes, pretty much the entirety of my walk.
But then it's over and sunny again, usually.
Yeah. And now I'm sitting here on the couch, the sun's shining and talking to you.
Yeah. How is it here? Let's see. Well, I know you didn't ask that, but I'm gonna tell you.
I was about to. I want to hear all about it.
Well, go ahead. Here, I'll let you ask.
Hey, how is it there at the Kong in St. Louis?
Yeah, so you and I like know each other so well. I knew that your brain was thinking that question before you did. Really, even before you even had to say it. You could just look at me. Next question you have, just look at me, and I'll know what the question is.
You want
Okay.
to do this?
Yeah. No, I don't know. That's not your normal.
I could give you my lazy eye.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see it.
Let me just do this. Can you
No.
tell me about
that's-
St. Louis.
That's more than just a lazy eye. That's a sort of a serial killer lazy
I have
eye.
no control. I have no control. As soon as I bend down and look up, it fucking curls hard.
So Shirkong, I thought of this a minute ago. We are a 3-cylinder engine and we've been firing on 2 of the cylinders all the time.
It's supposed to be 5.
And then why?
You're only running on 3.
Right now we have 3 presses. What do you mean? You're messing up my analogy.
Oh, okay. Sorry. But
So we are a 3-cylinder engine, 3-press engine. Okay. And we've been firing on 2 of them and a little bit more than halftime, 3. And so I think it's ramping. Fuck off. Like, forget this whole analogy. If you don't understand it, if you just don't have the brain,
I got it, dude. I
don't think you get it. I don't
all
think
the cylinders.
So. Want me to go slower? That's mean. Never mind. I didn't say that. You're doing great.
Thanks.
Hold on. I'm getting a political call. Do you get these right now?
They know I'm going to tell them to go fuck themselves.
Like, oh man, this I block it every time, but then it's just a different number slightly. It'll be like 7128 instead of whatever. Son of a bitch. Son of a B.
I hate when they do whatever it is, I don't know, technology wise or whatever, where they use your area code.
I know
So you think it's like a
they
local
fool
call?
you. but it's not. They're just routing through your area code. And so like, I still don't answer. Like if I don't recognize
I never
the
answer
number,
my phone.
yeah, like forget it.
You call me and I don't answer.
If I don't know that number, I don't want to talk to you. Like if you're calling me and your name shows up, but then I know you, and then I'm like, sometimes I still don't even want to talk to you, but I will. I will every once in a while. But if I don't know that number, like I'm not answering. I'm not answering.
I rarely. Yeah. If you get to my voicemail, it says, "Hey, I never pick up my phone, so text me or email me."
Hey, this just occurred to me that this happened, and because I was, saying I sometimes don't answer the phone, but this happened yesterday and it was absolutely a beautiful moment. So, you know how, I don't know how many episodes ago we talked about leaving text conversations?
Yeah.
Like text groups, I mean, that you're in. It happened yesterday where this text group had kind of died off. It just fizzled out. And I think it, not for any reason other than, we all kind of did our thing still, and we didn't need it necessarily. It was good for when it was good. And then it sort of just went away. And well, anyway, yesterday, somebody, I love this person dearly. They tried to like revive it. Right. And so they're like, hey, let's do this again. Here's a text. And then somebody else was like, yeah, let's do this again. And then I saw on there.
Were you like, fuck?
No, I was busy like doing stuff. And when I saw it, I was just like, just another thing that I can't do. Like, I just can't do it. And then am I allowed to say who left the conversation? And they did it with grace.
Somebody left?
Dude. Okay.
Oh, you're talking about Justin.
Yeah. Justin Lawrence.
Yeah. He was just like, I'm going to bring you guys down. I'm out.
Yeah. But he was nice about it. He's like, I love you guys. See you on the other channel and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then he was like, peace out.
It's just what you're incapable of.
So hold on. And then false, because here's why. When I got home, I saw this, like this happened and I didn't see it. When I got home, I opened it up and I was like, oh, wow. Like this is crazy. Like Justin Lawrence left. And then Alex Mimoser didn't say a word and just left the conversation. And I'm like, that's my boy right there. I like that style. And then so I got my phone.
You should have just left.
Nope, I didn't. I picked up my phone and I texted. I said, hey, I'm proud of you guys, but I am also out. And I said, peace, love, XOXO, and then left the conversation.
You should have said, and for that reason, I'm out.
That would have been good. But I saw my window. Here's the thing. Like I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? But then somebody left and then somebody left and, like Mimosa leaves rudely, which I don't care. Like that's not rude to me. Hey, if you don't have time for this, go do other stuff. I get it.
I think for this instance though, like it's not a chat group of like us just being friends and having a conversation. This group is specifically for fitness and exercise. So like if you're done with it, you're done with it. Like it's it's not as rude to leave.
Oh, well, if I would have left just me and I wouldn't have said anything, then Andy's such
we would have skewered you.
I know Andy's such an asshole. Andy's such a so I saw my window. All I'm saying is that to the people out there listening, if you're in a text group and you see someone leave and you don't want to be in that text group, jump on that.
To leave too.
Like, like get all over that and get out as soon as
you got to be like, well, I got to go see what's up with him. So I'll see you guys later.
That's right. So yeah, it was a glorious moment. I was like,
it's funny too, because I just texted in that group, like my rings and my walk and
that's great. I'm proud of you and you should, but I was like, and I did that alone, and I was like, and I actually like out loud said, I can't remember what I said. It was yes.
You fist pumped the air.
I fist pumped the air and said something, and Joanne heard me from the bedroom. She goes, like, oh, I think I said heck yeah or something like that, and then she was like,
like a little kid.
Yeah, she was like, huh? And I go, oh, nothing. And she goes, what? And I told her the story. It was just a great moment. I don't know, because I love
how happy it makes you to leave us behind.
No. It's not that. It's not that. Don't get me wrong. It's
okay.
It's me. It's not you. It's me. It's totally all. It's totality me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just not cut out to be a text group chat nonstop fucking guy. That's not fucking. That's not me.
Frank.
Look, it all starts with a screen, and whether it's new stretches or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best. To find out more, go to graphicscreenfashion.com, FFFFF,
Rank.com.
or
Great fucking screens.com.
you have a story?
Great fucking screens and the best fucking band.com.
Yeah. Do we have that website? Because we need
We're
it.
about to.
You had a story. You were all excited to tell something. To say
Oh, I never watch the episodes. Like I never watch our episodes. That would be weird. And then you posted in the chat this morning, Chad, about the poem at the end. And I went to watch it and I died this morning watching it.
So the reason why I know about that is that I texted Chad after we recorded that, and I said, "Hey, Chad, cut that poem at the end." I was like, and I go, "LOL," and then he goes, "Too late," or something, which I know it wasn't too late. Like it wasn't. This was
Right.
days
He
ago.
just loved it and he knew what he wanted to do.
Yeah, he was like, "Too late," and I was like, "I'm a dork," and he said, he was like, "LOL, it was great," or whatever, and so
Yeah.
so I went to see. I wanted to see like if it was there, and it was there, and it was beyond awesome. I texted the group today.
Yeah.
That I told them thank you. It's funny.
Glorious. He did you justice.
It actually made it way better. Like it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen this episode comes out weeks from now, but if you didn't watch the entirety of our spring break episode,
Recap.
Just go to the end and watch the very end, because I have a very important poem, very deep, because the episode was one of those. It was kind of a feels sort of episode. I share a poem, a very important poem about life. And while I'm on the topic, please do this for us. Go to YouTube, even if you listen and don't watch, just go to YouTube, subscribe, like a video, one of them, any of them.
Comment or something.
Say something.
Just say this show fucking sucks. It's horrible. It's stupid.
Yeah, that's fine, because it's better than nothing. And we're okay with,
I would like the feedback. I would like to know that I say like every other word. I would like to know that I'm ugly and I have
when
nose hairs.
you're young and you're a kid and you'll take any kind of attention, even if it's negative, like from your parents or whatever. That's what we want.
That's what I want. Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome, and it makes us feel really great. So please do that. And if you are on Apple Podcasts, go ahead and give it a 5-star or 4-star or 3. I would rather it be a 5.
I also want to see what you're doing when you're listening to the episode. You're in your car, you're on your press, whatever. Take a picture, put it on stories, tag us. Just want to see you. That's all. I want to be a creeper.
All right. Enough of that. I wanted to tell you this. We just started using this chemical from Easy Way called 401. And we were getting some swelling on our squeegee rubber. And we use this 401 now. It's brand new, by the way. I don't know if it debuted in.
What was the other one they were having you use there for a while for washing squeegees?
That was 842, but it's not good in a machine. So our squeegee cleaner.
You're using it in the squeegee cleaner.
Correct. Yeah. So we use this 401, and because what was happening is we were using some other chemical, and it was the squeegees were in there a little too long. They swelled up, and then they were breaking down. So I called Alex, and he told me I was an idiot and tried this 401.
Obviously.
And it's seriously, it's great. And so, and even we reduced our time, because it's just meant to clean squeegees.
Right.
And so
specifically for that purpose.
We are in the machine, 8-minute wash. Our recipe is 8-minute wash, 2-minute drip, 3-minute rinse.
I'm at a 2-minute drip too.
13 minutes, clean squeegees and floods. So yeah, look, Easy Way.
It's the easiest way, baby.
Yeah, it is, baby. GraphX is the source for production-ready digital art and remote art staffing. We use them every single day. Learn more at graphxsource.com. Get a hold of Nick or Lucas.
Nick or Lucas.
And they can help you out. They can get you what you need. I think
Speaking
that,
of, I saw a picture, I think Graphic Source posted on Instagram yesterday or something, and it was like a couple of the guys lined up, and Lucas is like, was like in almost like a suit or a blazer, and he's got like a beard and longer hair. Like, what is this distinguished gentleman I'm looking at?
very handsome man.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay. Choosing the right emulsion for your shop is complicated, and that's why we love Chromaline. Go to chromaline.com to watch Kev's vids or contact him on Instagram at the Emulsion Guru and get the answers you
Need.
Yes. So, Dylan, for both of us, SNS has been our go-to shirt source since day one. But Dylan, did you know that they have the largest selection of headwear?
Hats.
Oh, yeah, hats or headwear.
Who calls it headwear?
Is it right to call like a...
I'm going to run to the room and grab my headwear.
That's a nice headwear you have on today. By the way, I really like your headwear.
I really like your headwear. Fucking idiot.
And also, I like that apparel you're wearing.
Yeah, I really like your apparel. I really like your jersey knit.
Oh my gosh. What am I going to do with everything? I don't know. All right. Anyway, is there anything else to say?
I don't even know where we are or what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
SNS.
Yeah. So ssactivewear.com.
Great people.
All right. So while we are on the headwear and apparel subject,
we got new friends.
You want to talk about a new friend?
Yeah. We have a new sponsor of the show and new friends. Well, not really new friends. We've kind of been buds for a while, but Gildan and American Apparel, Comfort Colors, that crew, they want to team up. They want to be part of the show. I've been on the board of decorators there for a while now, about a year and a half.
They haven't fired you?
No, they asked me back, which is fucking weird.
Really? Has that ever happened before?
You're amazing, and we don't want to let you go. And it's just you now. You're the sole member of this team. Not true. There's some great people. No, it's great. They're great people. The best part, I would say, if I had to sum up real quick, of being on the board is that they 100% legit hear you out and write down and implement your suggestions into all of the lines. Like, it was really weird and shocking to go into the boardroom and sit down and they're like, tell us what's wrong, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. And they fucking like legit were like writing shit down, paying attention. And then we saw things change and be implemented. So they're amazing, amazing people.
Yeah. And I'm excited because, you know, they, like you said, they've already been friends or buds for a little bit because we've collabed with them on like our happy hour. And
who doesn't use their products for real?
Absolutely.
It's impossible.
Yeah. So yeah, stoked about it. Last but not least, let's not forget about Screen Print GPT. You definitely need to sign up for this free GPT powerhouse of info immediately if you haven't.
It's constantly evolving. Matt is always putting time and energy into it.
Yes.
And it's only getting better with your use.
Yeah. So check it out. Like I said, it's free.
Screenprintgpt.com. Sign up. Start asking it stuff. So that we can steal your identity. Hey.
Well, yes.
What do we got today, bud?
Dylan, we have got a sweet one today. Jacquie Mahan from The Awesome Company, which is a screen printing and design studio centered around empowering and employing autistic adults.
Hi.
She is located in Columbus, Ohio.
Well, how's it going? How's the shop? How's Ohio?
Ohio's great. My shop is literally just out. There's a window right here going down, so I can kind of hear the screen printers going off.
Nice.
It's a beautiful gray day in Columbus, Ohio, 70 degrees, which is nice for us. So there's lots of flies, some humidity. I have horses and pigs. So my pigs and horses are a little upset with the flies. So we have to buy fly spray for our animals. I'm not spraying any of my employees with fly spray though. Nobody's being swarmed by flies here.
So
You just spray them as they walk in.
my wife and I went to San Francisco. I don't know, it must have been 5 years ago or something. And then we bought the ferry or the boat trip to Alcatraz. And we're like, oh, we got to go see Alcatraz.
Oh, yeah.
And so we go out there and we board the boat and they leave the dock and they say, hey guys, so it's fly season. And just, did you wear long sleeves?
Like once you got there?
Yeah, like I had no idea.
Why wouldn't they warn you of that before you left?
Never even heard of fly season before, but apparently there's fly season and they attacked us like thousands of flies
like horse flies, like really mean ones.
They were pretty upset. Yeah, they didn't like it.
You were stuck on an island too. It's not like you can leave.
I know.
You can't swim back. It's too cold.
So fly season. Don't go during fly season. Otherwise, it's great.
I've been there once. It was pretty epic. And they actually had a prisoner who had been there, like as an inmate. He was there selling his books. And I had my kids take pictures with him. And I'm like, thought it was so great. I'm like, that's criminal. What am I doing? Let's get the hell out of here.
He's a child murderer.
He was a mega crook. He didn't kill anybody, but he stole everything and he lied. And I was like, why am I like, my kid had made the picture of him and this criminal his screensaver. And I was like, I think this is wrong. I think you need to put the dog back on your phone. This is too weird.
Was it Sean Connery?
Yes.
From The Rock?
It was it was his dead body. Because isn't he dead?
Sean Connery? Probably.
I hope not.
I think he's dead.
Might be.
I think he's dead.
I think he's dead. Yeah.
Yeah, they just pulled his corpse up and put
if
it
he's
in the
not,
chair.
he's probably 100 years old.
I think he's gone. I think he's in heaven. Google it. It's fun to Google
right
search
now.
away.
And
he escaped Alcatraz and now he's in heaven.
I think he's alive. Yeah,
Hey, if he's still alive, we just we wish for the best.
No, you're right. He did die. Yeah, he died October 31st, 2020 at 90. That's a long time.
COVID? Was he a COVID? Did COVID take him?
Geez, I don't know. It didn't say that, but hope not.
They got Connery.
Couldn't escape that one.
Yeah, he couldn't escape that one.
Or maybe he escaped where like when shit went down, like he was like, I'm out of here. I'm going to leave before all the shenanigans start. So he left at a good time.
That's what he wants us to think. And so that COVID took him out and really he's on Alcatraz getting attacked by flies.
Are you in Florida? Are you both in Florida?
Andy's in St. Louis. I forgot for a second.
Florida, Ohio.
I forget where you live.
I'm not from Florida. I'm from New York. I'm just visiting.
I read something about St. Louis yesterday. There was a skyscraper that used to be valued at $250 million and now it's sold for $2 million. And I was like, that really sucks for the guy that owns that building. And that's what I learned about St. Louis yesterday.
Sounds
you know about this?
It's going to hell.
I know a little bit about it. And what was it? So like I saw some Reddit post where they were talking about that. Yeah. And so it's vacant and that's why it's worth not a lot anymore. But I think that the person who bought it for $2 million assumed some sort of debt that they had to. It's more than $2 million, so it wasn't just like some great bargain at $2 million. Because I think to even get an occupancy permit or whatever is going to cost $100 million or whatever. You know what I mean?
That's
like
what I assumed. I was just like, that just seems like a real snarky deal.
I feel like it's one of those things. It's one of those things with real estate that you buy something like that, and then code swoops in, and they're like, "Oh, this entire building needs sprinklers," and it's like, oh, how much does that cost? Oh, like $2 million. And
it's just reach in my back pocket and grab that for you guys.
Exactly. It's all the stupid stuff like that. And by the way, did we tell you that this building is encased in lead? And also the water is drinkable. And when people walk through here, they get full body rashes.
My eyes itch.
Right.
But I just own this building. I don't know any fun facts about Florida other than like Florida Man. You know, like he's always the memes of Florida Man doing crazy things, but Florida Man and Ohio Man are basically the same guy with the guy in Ohio just wears more clothes.
He's like a snowbird. He goes to Ohio.
There is a direct line between Ohio and Florida. It seems they have a lot of direct flights from people. And
yeah, I don't know much either. I'm learning as I go. All I know is that it's hot and the sun is dangerous.
How long have you been there?
I just visit. I'm here visiting her. So
you're visiting. You're in New York. Yeah. Yeah,
I live in New York, so I come down here for a couple of days at a time here and there.
Sweat and get burned by the sun.
Exactly, 100%.
Oh, cool. Well, thanks guys for having me. I feel so special. You Yeah, I loved getting that email. Thank you.
Yeah,
I feel
for
cool.
sure.
I feel so cool. Usually I'm very grateful for anyone giving me attention and the business attention, but usually it's more autism driven groups. So I was like, oh, wow, like Screen Printer, like that group kind of is thinking we're cool. And that felt awesome. I loved it.
Of course. Why not?
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Tell us a little bit about how you got into it, your backstory. It doesn't need to be crazy, but give us the good parts.
You don't want 4 hours of commentary about how my whole life began.
Yes.
My birthday's May 5th.
You can give it to us. We'll just edit it down to
I just cut
8
it
minutes.
off. The Awesome Company is my third business. I had an art gallery for many years, and then I had kids, and I couldn't handle
Did you just consider kids one of your businesses?
They are a business. They're a very expensive business. You don't make money, you just spend it with that business. But I stepped away from my art gallery and I thought I was going to stay home, raise my kids. And that was not happening. It lasted about 2 weeks. And I was like, I got to get out of here. So I started a Pilates yoga business. It was really conducive to my schedule and being home and taking care of my kids, but keeping my adult brain going. But I enjoyed it. I didn't love it. I liked it, but I didn't love it. And about 8 years ago, I decided to start the Awesome Company with the intent to employ autistic adults. My son has autism and I got entered into that world through him. And he's since now 14 and I embarrass him and he wants nothing to, he's a typical teenager. So I've taken the cause on to myself. I really didn't know what I was doing. I certainly didn't have a screen printing background. I had an art background. I bought a DTG printer and I started a gifting company and I called it the Awesome Company because I thought I had this like $1 billion idea that I could custom tees, totes, hoodies, art prints, and whatever you thought was awesome, I could put on there. Like the shirt show is awesome. Sunshine's awesome. Jacquie's awesome. And you could not convince me that wasn't the best idea in the whole world. And everyone's like, oh yeah, it's really great.
I'm interested in this real quick because sometimes people who aren't in this industry that kind of get that bug and whatever, what was the moment? Like, what was the thing that inspired you to be like, I'm going to do this? Like, did you see something on TV? Did you run into somebody? Like, do you remember?
Yeah, I do. I was like at the beach or something with my kids and I was like, I fucking hate Pilates. I don't hate it like as a thing, but I was like, real talk. I was like, if I have to get up at 5 a.m. and have some old lady fart in my face for $35, this is just not my destiny.
That's a bargain, if anything.
I probably would have kicked myself a little bit more money, but I liked it. I didn't love it. I felt like I was just repeating somebody else's teachings, like it had run its course. I was so bored. I wanted to do something that was really challenging and I'm a bit of a masochist. So I just wanted to challenge myself. So I really threw myself into the Awesome Company and I started that gifting business. And then what I say is after I sold to all my friends, family, and fools is what I say. And I had no more sales. I was like, well, shit, this is a real business. I need to grow it. This gifting idea is going to stay really small and I want to make more money. I want to help more autistic people get employment. So I opened up to screen printing and I just started doing custom t-shirts for my family's in construction. So I start doing construction shirts, like the neons, and just knocked on everybody's door and said, let me print for you. And it started slowly growing. And then we became a screen printing business. And it really opened the doors to getting a lot of screen printing. I don't even know how I put it together, but it really does lend itself well to the autism brain and a lot of the tasks that you do in screen printing and organizing a business. An autistic person can take a lot of these tasks and make it their own. So it's a great business for somebody who's neurodivergent. And the whole concept is the more t-shirts and apparel I sell, the more autistic people I'll hire. And that's really just as simple as that. And we started with 1 employee 8 years ago, and now we have about 10 to 12. We've had interns. Hundreds and hundreds of people with autism have gone through our doors, and it's a pretty cool feeling.
Can you break down the wall on that a little bit? And I guess if there's people that are questioning it or concerned as to what the difference would be between
an autistic person and
right.
So this is my TED talk. there's neurotypical people and there's neurodivergent. Neurotypical would be like someone who you think would be more quote unquote normal, but really like what's normal.
Right.
A neurodivergent brain is a brain that's wired differently. There's perhaps a disability involved in that. And there needs to be certain things you have to consider, like noise, clothes, fabric stitching, how you deliver work tasks. An autistic person, it's a disability. It's a disability that can be respected. But there's also, like they say, there's a spectrum. I kind of look at it as an umbrella more than a spectrum. Like Dan Aykroyd and Jerry Seinfeld have autism. They've said it.
Yeah. See, I don't know if we necessarily want to go so far down the rabbit hole on autism, but like,
Yeah.
I always just hear people say the spectrum, and I'm like, I have no idea what this fucking magical spectrum is. Like,
Me either. There's a lot of stereotypical things. Having autism is, it's, detail oriented, not liking loud noises, being pretty particular, having fixated on certain things, getting obsessed with certain things. There really are a lot of stereotypes that are true, but really the saying that you've met one person with autism, you've only met one person, it's so vague. It just means that your brain is wired differently. You process information perhaps differently. And there's a saying like, everyone has autism now and everyone's getting diagnosed. Well, I think it's because people are more aware and they're like kind of tuning into their kids going, I wonder why my kid's lining up toys all around the room, or I wonder why my kid is screaming when the music isn't that loud, but it's loud to them. It's just us being a little more mindful.
Is it more someone who's like that? So say if I was like, oh, I'm detail oriented, but like, is it more to the extreme of that rather than me just being middle of the road on all of those things?
Yeah. For instance, I was just talking to my employee, Matt, downstairs, and I said, what did you do this weekend? He said, I went to one of my sister's music shows. And I go, oh, that sounds great. How was it? He goes, it was so loud. It was really hard to listen to. And I go, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, I just hear things so much louder. So he wears earplugs to like damper the sound down, where you and I would say, turn it up. It sounds awesome. It's just like, things are just kind of like a little wonky. Like, for instance, my son, he needs to feel grounded. Like he kind of feels, those things that go like this in used parking garages or parking lots. It's like he needs to feel grounded. He feels like he's floating around. So he jumps on the ground a lot and to ground himself. It's just little things that look peculiar to probably the outside person looking in, but it's just a way of self-regulating, like we all do. If we twirl our hair, or we watch the same movie over and over again. We listen to the same song over and over again. It's just self-soothing and self-regulating. We're just really aware of it at the Awesome Company. And I think being in this world for so long with my kid and understanding how it kind of rolls, we have a bunch of small offices. We can make it quiet. We have noise canceling headphones around. We make sure the tasks are super organized. So when you look at the board, you know exactly what you have to do. It's just, it benefits everybody, neurotypical or neurodivergent, autistic or non-autistic.
I grew up in the 80s, and whenever I'm stressed out, I love listening to 80s music. So it brings back.
What's your song?
Anything 80s really. Like there's so much, but I turned kind of alternative more in the mid 80s to late 80s. But I was going to say my understanding of autism was really limited until my wife and I watched Love on the Spectrum. We just love this show.
Oh my God, it's the best show in the world.
It really is one of the best shows in the world because, and what you were saying earlier, I think is so true, because sometimes when someone goes on a date and matches with this other person, I have to ask my wife, I was like, does this person have autism? Because I don't know that they do, and so I don't recognize it right away or anything. Maybe you would, because you know so many more people with it. But you were saying like the spectrum is pretty big, because I was like, I don't even know. I think that might be a person, just a person, but maybe not.
You're absolutely correct. And really the way that you're viewing it is, for me, the right way to do it, because we're just people, and autistic people do not want to be treated like disabled people, and they don't want to be, categorized how I probably would have in the back in the day, Rain Man. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
And what I would explain to you with my business, here's the spectrum for me is, on one end, these are people that need a ton of support. Nonverbal people really need a profound amount of support, probably don't live at home, versus here's the doctor or the lawyer or the scientist who's curing cancer. Right in the middle is a group of individuals that really want to work and really want to have a job, but like the McDonald's, the FedExes are not catching this group of people because of they're not willing to make the modifications, and I am. So that's kind of my crew, like the people that are having a hard time finding a place that can give them, a good job, get them a paycheck, give them some accommodations for their disability. And that's really all it is. It's like, I can't help everybody. I don't want to, but that group right in the middle that just wants to find like their home, their place, their people, that's what we do.
Right. I really don't want this to sound insensitive because I really don't mean it that way. I'm more curious to again, like Andy, like I didn't have much of an understanding on this stuff, but I've always kind of had this like mentality of like, I don't like when people are categorized and things like that, because then I feel like they use it as a crutch of like, oh, I can't do this because I have this. You know what I mean? Are you seeing that with your shop? Because you're setting it up specifically for them. Like you said, like you have ear protection and you have charts and you have this. Do you feel like once they have those things that they need to function, that they're like fucking go-getters and like everything's good and everything's done? Or are they just like, I can't do this because things are too loud, or I can't do this because it's not organized or whatever?
I would be wrong to say, well, it's easy, kumbaya, like just get some headphones and everything will work. It's not like that. It's kind of a challenging set. And like I said, I really do like a challenge. So it's kind of a challenging set of circumstances. The people that say it's too loud, I don't want to do this, I don't want to have them work here. Like right. I have a list of probably 40 people that are waiting for a shift and a chance to do this. So because there's so few positions at companies like mine, because there aren't a lot of companies like mine, these are really coveted spots. So people that are on the spectrum that want a gig, want to stay and want to try.
Right. They really want a place.
I've told everybody that comes in here, and believe me, I've had the guys and gals that have come in because their mom's yelling at them to get a job, or they feel like they have to. But if they don't want it, just like all of us, if we don't want it, no one's going to force you to fold shirts and clean the toilet and do marketing calls. Like you're going to have to really want it. So really, I'm not accepting it's too loud, it's this or that. I can have a conversation, say, well, we can turn the music down or you can put headphones on, but we're going to, if you're getting in the way of the business running well, then we're going to take a break. Maybe they'll go back and work on skills and come back and try. But really, every individual that works here, that sticks here, is somebody who really wants a job.
Andy, did you go get something you wanted to show?
Oh, I have a question about screen printing. So, or I guess I should say it's more HR. And this just happened because I did a performance review yesterday. And one of our questions on the performance review is there's a section that's about us. And I want to know, like, what do you think of us? How do we do? Like, how did we do this year? And so one of the questions I asked is, how well do we provide recognition of a job well done? And we consistently, when I asked that, we consistently score low. And we did this time too. Like he gave us a 3. A 3 is still good, but I think he was being generous. 3's in the middle. I think he probably should have put poor or fair. He just didn't want to be too mean. And so I know what a 3 means. I don't want to be a 3 anyway, even if it was good. I want to be like 5. I want to be.
I want to be a 3. I want to be a 5.
Yeah.
I'm a 5. God damn it.
Some of us can't help it. We got what God gave us.
God damn, I'm a 3.
That's right. That's right. So
I always say I'm an Ohio 10, but a California 6.
Andy, you're a hell of a 3, bud.
You're a good
I appreciate
3.
it. I mean,
please go.
Please
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm
okay
with that. I'm okay with that. But I think that we used to do a better job. So like one of the things I used to do was like I would have a Target gift card of $10 or whatever. And if somebody would let me know, like, hey, this person caught a mistake, or this person didn't, went beyond expectations, you know what I'm saying? Like they did something great, I'd go hand it out. And so we stopped doing that. I don't know when it was. Maybe it was COVID or something. We haven't done it for a few years. And I asked that person that gave us this score, I said, what do you think we should do? I'm just curious, like from their perspective, what do you think we should do? And he said, I'm not sure. And he started thinking about it. I said, well, let me know, like, by Friday. Like
He
give me a
slowly
paragraph.
raises his arm like he wants a high five. He's just scared.
He just wants a hug. That's all.
Yeah.
So I think that I want to do something because I think that's important because we get in this. I don't want to be, a company or a leader. Or I don't want team leaders to always be in the mode of, hey, let's talk about it when it goes wrong. Like, hey, this went wrong. Let's talk about this. No, I think that you have to balance it, right? You have to, talk about the good things too. And so I try to do that. Like when I'm walking by a press or something and I notice there's a great print, I always acknowledge that and I say, this looks great, but should we do something more? And I know there's a limit to that because it used to be like we had a free lunch Friday here. So every Friday we'd have free lunch. And all of a sudden, like a couple, maybe 3 months in, my accountant calls me and says, what are you doing? I was like, we have free lunch Friday. What do you mean? So you can't do that. You have to, like, you can only give so much money per year off of a check to your team. You know what I mean? The government needs to tax it. They have to record it as income. And so I'm like, are you serious? I had no idea. And so we stopped some of that stuff. But I want to do something.
Well, that's why you're a 3 now.
Yeah. Get with the
You
program.
gave them lunches and then you took it away. And now they're like,
You took the hoagies away.
Right.
It's the government's fault. We're going to blame it on taxes.
I understand what you're saying because you're like, I often feel in this business, do I set things up for success or do I just put out fires as I go? And that goes with employees. And I literally just had a meeting with an employee on the spectrum who needed some redirection. And she was saying to me, you just don't get me. And I said, well, it's not my job to get you. I don't care to get you. This is your job. Your mom and your dad and your family and your friends get you and they'll get you the lunch, but I'm not going to. I'm going to give you a paycheck. I'm going to treat you with a lot of respect. You have really fun coworkers. And that's kind of where I draw the line. Because if you start like overdoing it, I feel like I look pathetic. Like, I'm like, please don't leave me. Like, what can I do to keep you? And I don't know. I don't want to go down that path of like trying to make everyone happy with everything because it's just not possible. Then you're the one who's unhappy.
Are you saying it's sort of a slippery slope in that like you start rewarding behavior
you're talking to the one guy that's been my fucking
what do you mean?
Change.
Well, so explain.
Yeah, explain.
Well, like my life for the last fucking whatever 15 years in business and in life and whatever, my problem was I was a people pleaser. It's like I was constantly like doing things for people all the time. And people would come to me with their problems and I would just try to fix all of them. And I would like not do a lot of things for myself. I was just always doing things for other people all the time. And that was what kind of I thought made me happy, was making other people happy all the time. And then when someone else was having a bad day, I took it hard because I thought I was letting them down or something I was doing was letting them down and whatever. And it's like, I learned that basically their emotions and their decisions are not necessarily my fault or my problem.
Yeah, I totally and completely agree with that. But like, I am not a people pleaser. I probably should please more people in my life. I'm sure my wife would tell me that I should probably be nicer in a lot of ways, but I grew up like my dad's a kind of a hard ass. I'm actually sitting in his office right now. He's not that big of a hard ass because I'm in his office working, but it's figure it out. Figure it out was always said to me. Figure it out. If you fall, I'm not picking you up, pick yourself up, that kind of mentality. But the places that I've worked in my life, I loved being respected. Mm-hmm. And when I start getting that feeling like that you're saying, like, you're like, I just want to like make them happy. It's because I'm scared they're going to leave. And I'm scared they're going to leave me. Like, I need them to stay at the business. It's don't leave me. Like, I can't do this by myself. I start getting really paranoid. But really, like, these people need to go because new people need to come in that are really great. It's really hard to let go of mediocre people because I'm scared of having nobody. But every time I've let those mediocre people go, someone really amazing shows up and I'm like, oh my God, I'm a moron. Why did I waste 12 months with these idiots? I'm talking about neurotypical people. I'm not talking about autistic people. I would never speak that way. But people that I've had in my business helping me. And I can sometimes, out of fear, keep the wrong people around and maybe reward people that don't really deserve it because I want them to like me.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny that a lot of that issue that I had was probably from childhood and whatever else. But
Yeah.
All that aside, I think that in reality, what I've come to terms with over the last 2 years and restructuring things a little bit and adding in people for management and everything else is that it's not all of it is my job. Like, I made the systems, I made the processes, I made this company, I got it kind of to where it is with my group of people, but I also need to step back and be like, let them do their thing and whatever else. But to Andy's point, I think the thing is too, is that I was kind of more in your camp, Jackie, of like, well, I'm paying you, this is kind of what you're here for, you know, I'm not going to take your shit kind of thing. But then I started to realize too, like, it is important to acknowledge, like, when they do good things and when they are kind of on the right track and everything else. And we've been having more and more like meetings now, and not a ton of meetings and not like traction meetings, but like, you know, a meeting a week. And it's kind of been good to like, the first thing in the agenda is literally to like, what good things happened last week. And then like, we can kind of touch on those and maybe give them a little bit of praise for like, you handled that, you fucking did awesome. And now the company is better for it, kind of thing. So I think I've been trying more and more to give little praises when they're due, not necessarily just because. Like, I'm not going to come up and just be like, you're fucking awesome to everybody, because they're not all awesome. But like, if you do something that's awesome, then I'm all for it.
But for me, the compliments go around like whatever day I feel like it. But what the environment that I've created is I have a no zingers environment. So if there's any zingers, which is like anything mean or nasty, or you're unhappy with something, we'll have a group meeting with our core group of people. And then that's the time, like we used to do it every Friday, and then every other Friday. And it's once a month now that things have gotten smoothed out. So like, if our art director is not getting the artwork to the salespeople fast enough and they're losing orders, or we've fucked up in production and we screwed someone's order, having these zingers and emails zapping all week is so counterproductive. So I ask everybody to hold on to all the zingers until we're sitting together on a Friday, and we'll go through everything. That's that respect I'm talking about. Like, it's so unhelpful to disempower people like through the day. You know, when you get like a text and someone says, call me, and you're like, oh my God, who's dead? Like, I don't want to call you. I try to avoid that at all costs.
I like messing with people on that one to say like, hey, I have something really important to talk to you about.
Me.
I will talk to you about it tomorrow or like on Monday.
I hate it. Or like, hey, can we talk this weekend? I'm like, what did I do? I don't have time. And I'm like, I hate you. And I'm like at the doorstep and you're like, what did I do? Just tell me what I did. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's my favorite. And then you just say something like, oh, like I wanted to know what you wanted for lunch on Wednesday.
I hate you. Oh my God. I would have lost 2 years of my life in anxiety. Thinking, what have I done? It's mean. That's a mean, good trick.
Let me give you for instance. So let's say that tomorrow an order pops up that is challenging, you know, that it just turned out of the blue, sort of challenging. You didn't expect it. You didn't see it coming, but all of a sudden it's challenging, and your team crushes it. It's the end of the day. And is that just normal? Is that what is expected from your team? Is like, hey, you know, I paid you. You were here anyway, and you just did your job. And so we're all going to leave and get in our cars and go home and come back tomorrow. And, you know, I think that there's instances where...
I think that's verbal praise.
That's it? Just a verbal praise? Or do you say, hey, I
think that if that same thing happened and someone caught something that would have been an even bigger mistake. So say there's like a spelling error in the beginning, but nobody noticed it, and that one person found it, and it would have cost you like $1,000 to fix. That's where it's like, okay, here's like, fuck yeah, you're awesome. Here's a Target gift card. But like if the team just like something came up as a rush order, but they got it done in their normal 8-hour day, and yeah, they worked hard and awesome. Yeah, maybe go out when they're standing out there and be like, you guys, thank you so much for getting this done. You guys fucking rule. High fives all around. Like,
okay, but next time, so a month from now, same thing happens. Are they as stoked to you know, work extra hard or whatever, you know? Like, is it
I think so. If the team is like rah around it and be like, fuck yeah, we did this. This rules.
I think if you create an environment where people want to come and work and where they feel respected and their needs are going to be met, I think they'll stick around. And like, to answer that question, if we like really killed it and we're exhausted from a great order, like everyone will leave early Friday, and I'll add a couple hours to their shift and they'll see it. And that's how we kind of roll. Yeah, I just working in the Pilates studio, there's like, is it non-competes? Yeah. Like people sign non-competes to not leave the studio or whatever. And I never had those because I thought if you create a work environment where people actually want to work and you pay them good money, they're going to stick around because they're not going to be able to find this somewhere else. So that's kind of my goal is I just try to provide a work environment that you don't want to bounce from when it gets stressful. You might want to stick around. And that formula has worked for me. And I have a really great studio manager and I respect her and I pay her really well. And I call her the boss and I genuinely mean that. Like I listen to her. It's not a hierarchy where I'm like, well, I own the company and you're going to do what I say.
Yeah. I think the problem is though, and I've had this before too, where it's like, if you say you were to give them that Target gift card, like each person in that crew that got that job done gets a Target gift card. Next time that job comes around or next time something like that happens, they're expecting a Target gift card.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing with shop snacks. Like you were saying, like, but why you're a 3 now instead of a 5 is like you gave them food, you gave them food, you gave them food. And then it comes to a point where the novelty of it wears off. And then eventually they expect that food. And then if you don't have that food, they're like, well, fuck Andy. Like, why is there no food on Friday?
So let me share this.
They're not taking it every Friday as a bonus of like,
let me share this.
Hell yeah, there's food here. They're like, it's expected that there's food on Friday.
We had happy hour Wednesday where on Wednesdays, right before lunch, you put in your order and somebody runs to, it's called QT. It's like a quick trip. Yeah. It's a gas station that's nearby. And we get 25 whatever drinks, right? For everybody, the whole team gets whatever drink they want, non-alcoholic, so whatever drink you want. And so we did that. We did that for, I don't know, months, maybe 6 months goes by. And somebody came in our shop and they asked for an application. And I was like, oh, hey, I gave him a shop tour, everything, talked to him and said, well, how'd you hear about us? And she said, well, in my class, I go to St. Charles Community College. In my class, this girl was in there and was talking about how she had happy hour at where she worked and she got free drinks, like this Monster Energy drink or it was free. Like they just brought it to her. So I wanted to work there. That's
hey, you know what? If your bills get paid and everyone's getting paid, everyone's happy. I say happy hour or gift cards or whatever. It's not affecting your bottom line and it's increasing productivity. Hell yeah, then keep doing it. I
agree that those things should happen. I'm just saying it gets to a point where it's not a reward anymore. It's expected. And then when you don't supply that reward, they're like, well, fuck this place. Because that person who came there to get their Monster Energy drink, the first time they don't get their Monster Energy drink, they're going to kick a hole in your wall.
Well, that's because of all the caffeine. But you could flip that being like, well, they expect the Monster Energy drink and you expect really thorough work performance. So it's transactional and you're keeping up your end of the bargain. It actually might be a way to get them right where you want them in a little way, saying this is again, you're providing a work environment that no one else is providing. You can benefit from that too, as long as it's not taken advantage of. And if it is, then get rid of them because that's not the person you want. You don't want somebody.
That's true.
You don't want that asshole.
That's what I was going to add to this is if that person who is going to kick the hole in the wall is probably not the kind of person you want to have around anyway.
It's probably your brother-in-law and you were forced to give him a job and he probably should go kick rocks. But I do see the point, but you could definitely make it to benefit you as well and the business. And I'll jump through any hoop and I don't want to say I'll sell my soul, but I'll do just about anything to get a sale for my company so I can provide jobs for autistic people. The things I have done and said and gone to, I'm proud of all of them, but I will wear myself thin because if it's like happy wife, happy life, it's a lot. You could apply that to your business. If your business is happy, you're happy.
Yeah, I agree with that. But that's what I was going to say to cap that whole conversation off is that I still offer those things, those extras and those, those perks. But once we weeded out the team and got rid of the toxic people, now nobody thinks of it as like, they're just grateful to have those things. So like all the people we have there now, those are our people and they respect and they, when things happen or lunch happens or whatever, they say thank you and they're excited to like be there and everything else. They're not like scoffing at like, oh, I don't like pretzels or something. It's just like stupid shit. It's like, all right, well, get out of here.
That's exactly it. You could actually see it as a way to amplify a really a rotten apple that needs to get out of here, it might be something like that might help you weed them out faster had you not been such a nice guy. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being nice. I think being nice is always the best policy, but you don't have to put up with bullshit.
Yeah.
I certainly have. Everybody has when they grow their business, but you also, like, I was just talking about this the other day. It takes a certain level of crazy. A crazy person wants to run their own business, start a business, be an entrepreneur. It is a very stressful, it's a really hard job. I would imagine it's easier to work for somebody and just kind of follow the rules, get your paycheck, go home
at 5 o'clock, not think about it.
But crazy people like us think, well, you know what we want to do? I'm going to start something from scratch. I'm going to be in charge. I'm going to try to organize everything. And then we kind of are to blame. Yeah, we're kind of to blame. Waking up at 3 a.m. thinking like, I think I'm going to die because I messed up this school system's t-shirts and I'm never going to see the day. Yeah, we're insane. It's what we like.
Jackie, I want to ask you one thing to kind of close this part of that conversation off. Andy, do you have something to her point before I do this?
I was just gonna say it's having a business is the best of times and the worst of times. Yeah. And I think that both of those are great though, because you are really living, like you're certainly alive. You feel all of the emotions, and I like when I eventually walk away, I will miss it. Because it's action packed. Like there's always something going on. And the other thing I would add to that is just that I heard somebody say the other day that, it's like having a business is like getting punched in the face. Expect to get punched in the face every single day. And as long as you prepare yourself for that, it hurts less. Like it's a surprise.
No, it doesn't.
If it's a surprise and catches you off guard, then that's worse. Just expect to get punched in the face. And so if there's something that's going on that you have a hunch, you're like, hey, I think maybe that there might be a problem here, then maybe prepare for that. Come in prepared for that, and expect, which is awful, kind of maybe pessimistic way to think, but expect the worst out of the situation, but just to be prepared.
And then when it's awesome, it's awesome.
I think it's actually kind of healthy. You just have low expectations and so if your expectations are low, then if a good thing happens, you go, oh, that's pretty awesome. But if your expectations are too high and you're like, why aren't you smiling? Or you need to do this better. You're setting yourself up to be really bummed out instead of thinking, oh, that was kind of a cool day. I didn't get punched in the face. Maybe I won't get punched tomorrow, but if I do, I'll be fine. I like that. I don't think it's pessimistic. I think it's realistic.
I think there's more to that too, that I've been kind of saying this to my kids where they kind of get in a mode where they're like fucking pissy about everything. They're like, oh, this sucks and this sucks and this sucks. I was like, if you go into the world every day thinking everything sucks, you're going to find all the things all day that suck. But you're going to pick out everything that sucks. But if you go into it thinking positive vibes and like, oh, today's awesome, this rules, whatever, like you're going to find good things all day long. But if you're just a pessimistic, shitty person, you're just going to find all the negative shit all the time.
It's a downer. Like it's a downer. I have a son who's he's like kind of like Ichabod Crane. He's like a Tim Burton movie, sort of like he's dark, he's moody, he's a Scorpio, and he's just like tormented.
His hair swoops to the side across the face.
Actually, it does.
Perfect.
And he's 17. I love him to death, but I do try to encourage him to take things a little lighter and like, we're just skin suits walking around a rock and we're going to die. Like get over whatever.
That's what I tell my kids every night before I put them to bed.
Yeah. So they start crying.
Mm-hmm.
And so
like you're worthless. You mean nothing. Zoom out on Earth. You're fucking garbage. Go to sleep.
Play the song Dust in the Wind.
Right,
so you're just a piece of dust.
Right.
Nighty night. Slam the door.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is this a parenting podcast? Definitely not. I should not be on one.
This is what it is.
How to parent teenage boys.
Oh God, that's all. I don't even want to go down that road. That's what I'm doing. I have a 14-year-old.
14 and 17.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a single mom and I am doing it. And I'm like,
lots of hormones right now.
Gentlemen, it's time to sit down. Maybe take a shower. Could you shave? Did you put?
Don't ask him to take a shower because it'll be 2 hours long.
I'm fine with that because I don't have to clean up. Stay in there, enjoy it, play some music, get a dimmer. I don't care. Just like enjoy yourself. Whatever. Right. I know what you're doing. We can act like I don't, but
the hot water heater is going to work extra.
I bought an extra, tankless water heater.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I did that to just
There you go.
I'm trying to be sportive.
You're the best mom ever from what I'm hearing.
I'm desperately trying.
All right, back to this topic before we close off and do this other thing, because I'm very interested in your take on this and your whole thing with, and again, I super respect what you're doing with your business. I think it's awesome that you're doing the autism thing and it's working out, and that's the rules. The one question I do have is that obviously your business is specifically for those types of people. What would you give advice to like me or Andy or whatever, if we get someone who works for us or comes into work for us that might be autistic, but doesn't necessarily know, or they do know and they just want to work here? Is there something that we could maybe do to help them have? Yeah. Like I would rather know from someone who does it all the time, like you, that I'm doing the right thing, or I don't want them to come in my office and be like, just complaining about something because it's had something to do with their disability. And I'm like, fucking do it or you're fired. You know what I mean? Like, what would you say to us?
Well, I would first say, like, now that we know each other, you could just reach out to me and talk to me about, like, be like, I met this person and I'm really straight up. I am not, kumbaya, everyone's welcome, everyone gets a trophy kind of person. It's just not who I am. I do feel like we're best friends now, so we're good. Are we?
I'll reach because
are we people pleasing? Yeah, well, please. Right. But yeah, step one is definitely just reach out to me. And anyone that's listening and that has a studio, just reach out to me. I'm really easy to get a hold of. For me, transparency is really clear. I would make sure that they have a diagnosis. I would make sure that they have a support. A lot of the individuals that I get that get their jobs to stick is they have a job coach or they get support through an organization. It's like for lack of a better word, it's like a clubhouse. And so say I graduate from high school and I go into this clubhouse and I start working on skills and I start living independently and I get my driver's license, and okay, the thing I'm going to work on is getting a job. So there'll be a person whose job is to help this individual get set up for success. So
this is somebody who has kind of been in whatever system for so long. I'm saying like, yeah, there's that kind of person that would come in and say, hey, I'm autistic. I have a coach. I have a thing, whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm saying like a random individual who just never got anything figured out or checked out or whatever. And you're like, oh, this person's definitely autistic. Like
if they're quirky or unusual in a way that isn't responding well to you and it's not something that you can work with, and it's your right in a capitalistic society to say this is not the right individual for me. If you have somebody who you can tell, or who is, I hope that someone would speak to you directly and say, I have autism and these are some things that I am going to start working on. I would just hire somebody that has a job coach or somebody a support person, because it's going to fall on you and it's too much work to train somebody that might need some extra help.
Is there a state or a federal level person that like with
there's so many organizations
call and be like, hey, I have this person.
Yeah. You could just put on your Instagram, we're looking to hire somebody, and or like, I'll help you. Just tell me what you want. I'll figure it out. But just try one person. You don't want to overwhelm. Just do one person and give them 4-hour shift. Give them a 2-hour shift once a week and have them fold shirts or have them do quality control. And if they are really good at it, then add an extra hour. And then you have a solid employee who's maybe working 10, 15 hours a week, but just slow and steady. But if you meet somebody and they don't have like any human being, if they don't have a support system to say, like, how are you going to get to work? What's going to happen if you feel stressed? What's going to happen if you need to ask a question? I think radical transparency and finding an individual that is interested in what you do and wants to be there. If they want to be there, then you can make it work. And if also, like, don't be scared to ask questions. Be like, I see that you keep getting up and it's distracting me. Why do you keep getting up? And then maybe they'll go, oh, I didn't even realize I was doing that. I'm so sorry. And then, maybe they'll be more mindful and sit down. It's just, I think there's a lot of like, nobody wants to hurt or offend anybody. And I get that.
I think that's my biggest thing is, as an owner, I don't want to hurt somebody or offend somebody that like genuinely has a disability. And I'm just like, you're just being lazy, or you just don't want to do that, or you just whatever.
I think that what you just said was brilliant. I don't want to be mean. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but you appear to not care about this job. And it's really important. You just offered radical transparency. Not everybody's going to know everything about. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of subjects that you know about that I know nothing about. So I would walk in kind of feeling ignorant, like, well, what does that mean? Can you tell me? I don't want to sound stupid or insensitive, but just be honest and you'll find the right person. And for me, I think my superpower is I'm a pretty patient person. I'm really direct. And I think I just am wired that this is a good job for me because I can manage an autistic person and autistic workforce. And I'm just good at it, I guess. So just call me and I'll help you.
You have experience with it too, personally. And now also at the business. Somebody here, his wife got a new job. And it's in an organization like you were describing. And so she recommended us and they called us. This was a few months back. And I met with this person and they were vetting us. So they wanted to come here and do a shop tour and see if it would be a good fit for something like this. And so at the end, she was like, hey, this looks like it would be great. And we're going to get you into the program. And what it sounded like is that initially anyway, there was no pay. So it was like more of a shadow. They would come here and sort of shadow somebody for maybe, I can't remember if it was a day or a week or whatever it is. And then at the end of that, they sort of, I don't know, review, or I don't know how you would say it, but I don't want to say score them or whatever, but just like sort of observe and see how they function in this environment. And if they're a good placement, if this looks like a good fit, then they will say, hey, do you want to hire them on? And so I think that's a decent way anyway to try out the spot, like so you could get introduced to the person.
What you're saying is exactly what I'm like. I'm getting in the weeds more like job coaching, but find an individual who goes, hey, I got a bunch of people that are looking for summer gigs. Can I bring John over? John really thinks screen printing is cool, has an art background, and he's got transportation. Like, hell yeah, come and do a tour. What I'm hearing you describe is like a discovery period where you go for a week or 2 weeks or an internship and just see how they do. Because if you're not losing money in the business and they're gaining experience, that's time well spent for both parties. Yeah, for sure. And then after a certain amount of time, bring them on as an employee and pay a minimum wage and let them earn more money, dangle the carrot to get better performance, slow and steady. But what you just said is exactly what should happen. And if it doesn't work, you did a nice thing, giving that person a couple days of your time. You got some shirts folded, you had your office swept. So and they get to put that on their resume, or they get to say, well, I tried it out here and this might not be the right thing for me, but I'll go try somewhere else.
They didn't give me a monster. So I said, fuck this place.
No, I just think it's really important to lean in and just say yes. Sometimes when you go, oh, I don't know about this, feels really uncomfortable. Just try it. If it's not going to hurt, again, like we're going to talk about our bottom line. If it's not going to hurt your bottom line, who cares? What else do we have to do? Just say yes. It'll be a funny story.
You do.
That's good advice. That's good advice. I like it. Mm-hmm. Dylan, is it over under time?
It is time.
Okay, so I have 3 things today. You just let me know if you think they're overrated, underrated, or properly rated. The first one is sun chips.
Ooh, underrated.
Underrated. I love sun chips.
The salsa ones.
I love when they give them on planes.
I was going to say Delta has the salsa sun chips.
Yeah, that's pretty rad. Mm-hmm. I need to go get some. I haven't had it in a while.
My daughter crushes them. Like I buy the family pack and she can eat an entire bag in a weekend.
Yeah,
I'm into it. I love these questions. I was like, oh God, is this a business thing? But I like your questions better.
Fucking around.
Can I add a couple after the end?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. I already have 3. Okay, go ahead.
She's prepared.
I asked sun chips because I ordered some from Costco as part of our, snack area. And the bag I grabbed yesterday was the salsa bag and they were delicious. I'm like, I've got to ask this because they're so underrated. Yeah.
They're delicious.
Number 2, meetings. You mentioned meetings earlier, Dylan, that you were having more meetings and they can be productive. And I think there's ways to conduct meetings and have them productive, but they also can be like the devil. And so what do you think?
I feel like meetings are the thinnest of lines you could cross. Like there's a sweet spot where you can have them and it's productive and you're actually getting shit done and it's whatever. And then there's that slightly over the line where you have 30 of them and they do nothing. It just wastes time. And people are like, why is this not an email? Like, So I'm down. I want to have one meeting a week with my team, and we do actual things. Like, I think the biggest thing though too is I've tried to have meetings before where I just sit everybody down and be like, "Hey, what's up? What can we work on?" But like, I legit used, I think, Chat GPT and made a meeting agenda
Really?
and like put real things in that I wanted to get done and bullet points. And then I shared it with my team. So we have a week, like from that meeting to the next meeting, to add to the agenda of things they accomplish, things they want to do, things that we can work on. So then when we sit down the next Wednesday, we already have a full agenda of actionable items.
I hate meetings. The end.
Overrated. Next.
I have ADD really, really bad. So you got to put like 15 dictionaries on my lap to get me to sit down and like, okay, let's listen and talk. I'm very good at texting. I love texting back. I don't love talking on the phone. I always feel like someone's calling me. What I've done, I have Hannah who runs the production and the screen printing. And then there's me who runs the employment and the enrichment. So she and I, like, I'm not scared. Like, meetings with her are just hanging out. So I feel like I must disguise meetings. And then the rest of the team, like maybe once a month or once every other month, I'll do a Zoom call or say you can come in, and they don't last very long, but I'm just like, any zingers, anything anyone wants to say. And everyone seems pretty happy. And I'm like, all right, well, see you in December. Bye. And like, it's like, if it's not broke, or if it's not broke, don't fix. What's where that saying is. So
yeah.
I do have to say though, that like, I hadn't done meetings for years and years and years. And the one thing I was discovering in the office that kind of like for the last year has kind of been broken is it was almost every man for themselves. Like, each person in the office was in their zone. They put their headphones in. They just did their job and they made sure they got their specific job done and they left. Ever since we've done the meetings, it's way more a team vibe. Like, everyone's helping each other.
Yeah.
We all have goals that we're trying to get done by the end of the week before next Wednesday. Like, there's way more like camaraderie and like team.
I could do that. I could do that better. I feel like the more interaction I have, the better, like, we're all feeling as a group. But
right. Like, I'm the person when I show up to work in the morning that puts the music on in the office. If I show up at like 11 a.m. or noon because I had a morning thing, 9 times out of 10, I walk into the office, the lights are off and there's no music. Like, everyone's just sitting at their desk with their headphones on, like, not talking.
You're the DJ? Get the party started?
I'm the DJ. And we get the party started. Exactly.
You're a Vici?
I think that we, way back when, used to have a lot of meetings. And the feedback was, hey, we have too many meetings. And now we hardly have any meetings. And the feedback is hey, we don't have enough meetings. And so I don't know if we can ever win, but maybe we will. I think they're overrated. I'm with you, Jackie. I think they're overrated. I did hear this, though, because you said something about how you sit everybody down. I did hear that all meetings you should be standing, because then you maybe you want to get out of the meeting faster because you're like, hey, I don't want to stand here forever. I don't know. So maybe that would speed it up if you ever have a problem. They're running too long. I don't know.
I have a hard time sitting still.
Overrated. My last over-under question is this. I have a sentence, I guess, and it is this: in my blank era. So it's a pretty big trend right now, and sort of like the keep calm shirts. Like, we're doing shirts now that say anything in my blank era. And one could be like your Pilates era or whatever, you know? And so whatever it is, like, I guess that's trending. And so do you think that's overrated or underrated?
If it sells shirts, I'm into it. But the Taylor Swift era thing, I'm not a Swiftie. I'm not a not Swiftie, but I don't know. I think I'm just like, I'm turning 43 next week, and I feel like I've surpassed whatever this era thing is. Thank you.
My wife is turning 43 next week.
May 5th? What's your birthday?
16, May 16th. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, I like getting older, but I don't, the era thing. Well, here's the question. What era are all three of us in?
That's what I was going to say. What is the era that we're saying? Are we just making up a word that we are right now?
I'm in the, need to believe that I'm smarter than I think I am era. Like I doubt myself a lot, or I think, oh, I don't know if I'm smart enough, good enough, this enough, that enough. And I think as I get older, I'm really throwing that away and just being like, I'm really smart, I can do this, and not having that secondary thought. So whatever that era is, confidence era or whatever non-imposter syndrome era, that's where I want to be right now, because it feels better than doubting myself all the time. The end.
I can feel that.
What about
I was
you
gonna
guys?
say I'm in my rebuild area. I feel like with most things in my life, my business, my personal life, I'm trying to build a home. Like I'm restarting, rebuild, reevaluate.
Mm-hmm.
That's the 3 R's is my life right now. Era.
Third one, waiting for you.
Me,
St. Louis.
I am,
Yep.
yes, my
He's in
era.
the Sunships era.
No, I hate,
Sunship, Sarah.
I wish I was yesterday. I hate the word chillax, but somebody was talking to me yesterday. And they're like, yeah, we went over to the bar Chillax. I'm like, where did you go? There's a bar over here called Chillax. So I would say that I'm in my chillax era because I'm trying to like.
This is
Trying to
Jackie where
chill?
I said you can throw up on camera.
Yeah, I know it's lame, but it's descriptive.
No,
it's the perfect
into it.
description of what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to chill out a little bit because I've been very intense, as we were talking about earlier, trying to succeed because it's a fight, and I was not going to let it not succeed, and so it was very intense, and so now, since I think that that was that era. And now I'm in the chill mode, I think. So I've had enough
Just
of
say
that.
chillax. You were going to say it and you stopped yourself.
Just don't you ever dare say work hard, play hard, or I'll kill you on the spot.
Yeah.
I hate work hard, play hard. When I hear someone say that, like the joy drains from my face, and I'm like, I want to beat the shit out of that person. I'm like, I need to
word
stop.
makes me want to beat the shit out of
Tell
people
me.
is when
That was
people
my
say-
question. Is like
when people say hustle.
hustle. That that bothers
It's
you.
the hustle or the grind or the whatever. It's like, fuck you. Just
work.
douchebag.
Yeah.
What about Vegas, baby? I hate that. Like, just go to Las Vegas. Don't say Vegas, baby, to me or anyone, or don't buy a postcard. It's Las Vegas, and stop it. Or I did a thing.
It's not as good
don't
of a
say I did a
slogan, Las
thing.
Vegas, and stop it.
I'm not a fan of Las Vegas. Maybe that's it. I'm just
You know what saying?
judgmental.
There's another saying that makes you want to punch a hole through someone's face is, fuck, now I just lost it. Oh, on so many levels. When someone says
Ew,
that this on so many levels, I want this to go through their head.
There's a new one that I have hated, but I do it, and I'm trying to figure out how to not do it. But at the end of the day, and I'm like, how do I get rid of assholes like me? Because I'm watching TV and someone's like, well, at the end of the day, it's just soup. And I'm like, but I say it. I caught myself the other day, but like, now, Lincoln, at the end of the day, it's just how hard you try at homework, not the grades. And I'm like, ew.
We're such dicks. I love this so much. I could have this conversation forever.
We're going to Scottsdale this weekend.
At the end of the day.
Like a lot of us, some friends, a bunch of friends are flying to Scottsdale on Cinco de Mayo, your birthday.
Yeah.
So I was showing my wife this house. It's like a compound. This is like a major Airbnb because there's something like it can sleep 16. And
I better have my own room. That's all I'm saying.
There's only 8 bedrooms, which is a problem.
And one of them's mine.
Only 8.
Yeah. And so, but I was going to say, there's you were mentioning Vegas and some of the sayings. There's a neon sign in this Airbnb, and it's hanging on the wall, and it says something like, doing bad things makes for better stories or something like that.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's what it says. Something like that. And I'm like, huh? And so, Dylan, that's your bedroom, by the way. They already have that reserved.
I'll rip it off the wall.
I want a picture.
I'm gonna hang up my Taylor Swift poster over it.
Okay, so now we have to flip it. So now we're going from negative to positive. So I have one where like someone said, no, I hate that. Everyone hates that. That's like over. That's so 2000 something. I think that's so 2000 something is also, you can't say that. But so my son, who I told you, like a little Ichabod Crane, he's just an unusual young man. in a wonderful way. And he was talking about his little brother. Like I always say, my older son is like Mr. Peanut and my other son is like Drake. Those are my two children. Like my other one's like wear a Nike suit. Like, so my older son was talking about my younger kid, and my younger kid was like showing off. And my son Donovan said, yeah, he thinks he's all that. He thinks he's like all that jazz. Dead serious. And I was like, Donovan, is it 1923? Did you just say that Lincoln is all that thinks he's all that jazz?
And then he pulled his monocle out and put it in his pocket.
And my son's girlfriend was sitting in the room and she looked at me and she was like, and she just jazz handed my son. So a statement that you've heard recently where you're like, oh my God, I love it. All that jazz. So I use it all the time, acting like I brought it back from the 1920s, but my son did when he was making fun of his brother.
That's great.
I think it was a movie.
All right,
too.
what's your over under?
Yeah, you have
Mine?
3, right? You have a few, you said.
I don't know if it's over. Okay.
We have to judge
It's not really over under. It's just, I'm curious about if I'm going to like your answers or not. What's your favorite hair metal band?
Oh God.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Twisted Sister is the best one.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Do you think that Bon Jovi would be considered hair metal? And if
Not
so,
metal.
No.
Not even close.
because I just saw
once
a
he cut his
documentary. Okay.
Bed of Roses, get the hell out of here. No, you're out of here. Bon Jovi. No. You have to wear a lot of neon for a long period of time. Got it. Go.
How about Rat?
Yes.
Okay,
excellent
that was better.
choice. Great choice. Yep. What about you? Florida, New York?
Oh God. I grew up.
Or if you're not into metal, it's okay.
No, it's a perfect question. It's just difficult for me to pick necessarily, but Motorhead would be my favorite, but that's not necessarily
very manly choice. Great choice. That's like hairy chest and like a leather vest. I like it.
That's just me in general. Hairy chest.
That's great. Is that what you're going to wear tonight to take your lady to dinner?
That's exactly what
okay.
Did you say yours?
Comfort?
I can't remember. Did you say your favorite?
Yeah, she said Twisted Sister.
Oh yeah,
Mine's Twisted Sister. Okay, Dee Snider. I have a very strong connection to him, and I've watched his documentaries.
And she's just not going to take it.
Neither am I. You know, he's got a lot. He's got a lot of wisdom. What's your favorite comfort meal that you eat by yourself when you feel stressed? You can have other people around, but when you're like, oh my God, and like you're like, I need to eat this food and I will feel better. Is it Sun Chips or is it something else?
Meatloaf and mashed potatoes.
Is it like Stouffer's or are you making it yourself?
Making it myself, for sure.
I like that answer. All right.
I thought you were going to say a Barron's. Put a Barron's in the oven.
That's just, I hate my
hangover
life.
Food.
Yeah.
I kill myself. Mine is 2 bean burritos from Taco Bell in my car. And I like to listen to either soft rock or hair metal in my car, very, very loud. And then afterwards, I feel like a whole new person.
Okay.
That's me.
Cleans you out too. Yeah.
She's pretty great.
Taco Bell.
I like getting the 3 soft taco meal, and then I get a cheesy fiesta potato, and then I put the potatoes evenly portioned into the 3 tacos.
You're an artist. You even cook when you're getting fast food. You make your own meatloaf, and then do you know what? My kids go to kind of a snotty school, and I'm always looking for nice people to sit with like on the stands. And this one mom named Annie, I found out that she owned a Taco Bell, and I was like, couldn't fucking believe it. So I sat next to her and I was like, hey, do you want to be friends? And I was like, hey, do you want to be friends? She's like, sure. I'm like, so it was like, it was like a creepy date where I'm like, so like, do you have like a food truck? Can I go in and make food for myself? Can I have my birthday party at the Taco Bell down the street? And she totally took it. And like, we're friends now, but I went in hot because I love Taco Bell so much. And it was so not cool. But that is my absolute comfort food. So I've had music, food. I think those are my 2 big, I want to know about you guys because it says a lot.
Place us.
You didn't say your food. You have one more.
Chili.
There's the answer for sure. Yeah.
Chili with spaghetti. Do you like Ohio Skyline where you put pasta, chili, cheese, or are you doing it You making it
That's
yourself?
chili. That's chili three-way. Chili three-way is pasta, chili, cheese. You could put sour cream on top. That's four-way, and five-way is the
beans,
yeah.
onion, sour cream. Yeah.
That's very
So
good.
yours is chili.
Chili three-way is like a Pornhub link. That's like a category.
It
That's
should be
not
a
something
porn.
that
I
you
would.
make.
That we could think of a lot of creative things to go. Like if we weren't being recorded, I could go down
We'll
the
be
path with
canceled. All
that.
right. Yeah, we'll leave that alone.
I've already canceled myself. I'm fine. I don't care.
That's all good.
Well, I'm really glad I met you guys.
Yeah, you too.
I hope I see you around. I've never gone to any of these like cool printers convention things before. I always just stay in Ohio. Should I go to one? Is there
Long
a good
Beach
one to
is
go
the
to?
one to go to. Long Beach.
When is it?
Or a shirt show camp. But
Shirt show camp, is it in Florida or New York or St. Louis?
all over the place.
No more shirt show camps. The next Eclipse, we're having a shirt show camp. Where you want to go is Long Beach, which is in January, like late January, and it's the perfect time of year to get out of Ohio and go to where it's a little bit warmer.
ISS.
What's ISS?
Yeah, ISS.
Is
Long
there
Beach.
like cool kids and not cool kids that show up to this,
All
or does
cool.
everyone know each other?
Everyone's
All
So
great.
I'll be okay. I'll be okay. If I show up.
Yeah.
All
You'll
right.
fit in perfectly.
Great. I have a lot of things to say about things that no one gives a shit about.
Exactly. That's all this is.
Now that I have you guys on, I mean, we can cut or whatever, but I'm thinking about not outsourcing embroidery anymore. I'm just driving back and forth to this lady's house all the time. And so I'm really careful about what I spend money on because I want to make sure I make my money back. And I do feel that I need to buy an embroidery machine. And I don't want to have the same experience that I had with buying my DTF printer, which was, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And I just kind of went like this and picked something. What embroidery machine do you guys like, or what are your opinions about embroidery?
Okay. So Dylan does what you do, basically. He's worked out. Well, go ahead. Explain what arrangement you have.
Well, her bringing this up right now is a topic that I'm literally facing myself because the entire time I've been in business, literally across the street from me is an embroidery shop. And that's all they do is embroidery. So it's never, ever made sense for me to bring it in-house because it's stupid. It's literally across the street. So I've always just taken the orders, taken them over there, brought them back. Well, I really don't think she listens to the show and hope she doesn't. But there's just been some ball dropping happening for quite a while. So now I'm debating sending it somewhere else. So, but the hard part for me with that is there's nobody local. So I have to ship it somewhere and then get it back.
Oh my God, you'd never make any money.
Well, that's what I thought until I started getting quotes from people that I respected. And then I realized that I was getting like overcharged. So I think I'd actually make out even if I paid the shipping.
You don't want an
Sending it
embroidery
somewhere
machine
else.
at your studio?
No, I don't.
Why?
I don't really have the space. And B, I just don't want to. I don't want to learn it. I don't want to fuck around with it. I don't want to have people dedicated to it.
Got it.
I would rather send it to someone who's an expert and just be like,
I want to make that money. I want the money. And I have
well, we still
somebody,
make money
but
sending it out.
I know, but
But then you have the machine and you have to have people and you have to whatever. And
all right.
My take is.
Yeah. What do you think?
We have a Tajima. We have our embroidery department is small. I wouldn't say it's large. We just run a forehead and two singles. And I think we've had opportunity to grow it, but I've never wanted to. It's not my thing. I don't really know how to run the machines. I sort of do. They do a good job. And what's really nice is it's like a very good cross, sell. So when people are here ordering shirts and they see, like physically see, we have a showroom. We have which is different than Dylan. We actually have people like a sales counter, everything like that. People are in here all day long. And so it's really good to have that just right over there because you can see it happening. Yeah. It's not behind a wall or anything. So I think that would I do it all over again, though? The answer is probably no. The answer is probably I would just outsource it because it is an investment. You do have to employ people. I don't know. I just think that if you're making money off of, subcontracting it out, what's wrong with that? Because you can then still just focus on, maybe what you do really well, and that is screen printing. I think that that's what I would do. My answer would be I wouldn't do it all over again. I probably would just stick to screen printing.
I'm back and forth with it. The amount of money I'm spending on gas going back and forth to this lady's house, and she does a perfectly fine job, but I'm just starting to see like I'm getting charged a little more. And I understand life is more expensive. All of us are paying all of our bills. I feel like all my bills are like quadruple what they used to be. Yeah. But I'm just hitting that point where I'm like, do I invest in the equipment? Do I train somebody? And how many jobs do I have to do until this machine is paid off? Right. That's how like my brain works. And I'm like,
the biggest thing with it is that if you can find someone you trust to keep quality standards to where you would normally want them, that to me is like the biggest challenge, is finding somebody who's going to care about your job as much as you are. But you also need to pay for that basically. But the other part of it is too, is like if you're drop shipping from like SNS directly to that embroidery person, and then all they have to do is ship it to either you or directly to your customer, then as long as you're adding that price, then you don't have to drive anywhere.
Yeah. Like, I think most of my stuff is super local. So it's something to think of. I appreciate your opinions because I
maybe just do a pickup once a week and not like when it's done.
I just always think I can do it better. And then I'm here till
the problem that we all have.
9:00 at night.
yeah, for sure.
I get to stay here. My son has a track meet. My kids go to school. It's like everything is an hour away. So I'm excited because I get to work later today because the track meet's around the corner, and that's my brain.
Right.
So I just want to keep working and going. Yeah.
Well, Jackie, we appreciate you doing this with us.
I love meeting you guys. Thank you for having me. It was really nice meeting both of you. And I hope that we run into each other in Long Beach in January with the cool kids.
If somebody wanted to reach out to you about the autism stuff, do you have a better way of contact? I know it's not calling on the phone.
Don't call me. If you want to call me, text me about how you want to call me. Let me know. We're on Instagram, The Awesome Company Official, and I have messaging. You can just message me there. It's usually me checking the messages, or Hannah, and she'll send it to me. info@The Awesome Company. It's a catch-all email for everyone that works here. And or Jackie, my name's spelled weird. It's JACQUIE at theawesomecompany.com. And I'd be happy to help hold some hands to get a couple more people on the spectrum employed. That would make me really happy. So I'd be very happy to talk to anybody.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Have a great day. I'm going to.
You do the same, and we'll see you in Long Beach.